Close your eyes, dear traveler of dreams. Tonight, we wander into the ancient night, where sacred temples rise from the sand and gentle winds carry the songs of forgotten prayers. In the stillness, we meet the divine women who shaped the soul of ancient cults, goddesses of earth, sky, water, and mystery. Their voices linger like moonlight upon rivers, their stories unfolding not with noise, but with whispers meant to soothe the heart. As you drift deeper into rest, you will walk beside queens, priestesses, and goddesses, each carrying a lamp of wisdom to guide you into the quiet of sleep. If these sacred stories bring you peace, let your heart rest here again. Subscribe for more journeys into ancient light and share where you are listening from, so our circle of dreamers may grow across oceans and stars. The night is quiet now. The room grows softer with each passing breath. Somewhere in the stillness, a story begins to glow like the faint light of a hidden candle. You drift toward it gently, as though guided by the hush of ancient winds. Long ago, before temples rose, before written words were carved into clay, the human heart leaned close to the earth. The first fires were lit in caves, their shadows dancing across stone walls. In those flickers, people felt a presence beyond themselves, a presence vast, mysterious, yet tender. They saw life springing from soil, from womb, from water, and they began to whisper to the unseen power that shaped it all. They called upon the Great Mother, not one name, not one face, but a feeling. The sacred feminine, as old as dawn, the soft cradle of beginnings. Listen now as you drift deeper. Imagine the cave, cool and sheltering. A hearth glows with embers, warming those who gather in silence. A woman shapes clay in her hands, round and full, like the curve of life itself. These are the earliest goddesses, small figures carved with care, symbols of the mystery of birth, of nourishment, of the endless circle of life and death. The air smells of smoke and earth. Outside, the night is vast, filled with stars like scattered seeds. The people look upward and downward, finding wonder both in sky and soil. Their prayers are simple. Their gratitude is deep. To them, the feminine divine is not distant, not unreachable. She is present in every grain of wheat, in every child who cries, in every stream that flows across stone. You breathe slowly. You can feel the calm rhythm of those early nights. The sacred feminine rests in silence, wrapping all things in her embrace. The story drifts forward. Time flows as rivers do. Caves open into valleys, valleys into villages, villages into cities. And with each new place, the sacred feminine takes new form. She is painted on walls, etched in ivory, carved in stone. She is the earth and she is the sky. She is the womb that brings forth life, and the soil that receives it back when life has ended. Close your eyes and see her temples rising, first in simple circles of stone, then in towering pillars reaching for the heavens. In Mesopotamia, she is Inanna, Queen of Heaven, draped in starry robes. In the valleys of the Nile, she is Hathor, her face glowing with kindness, crowned by the sun. In distant lands, she wears other names, yet always she is Mother, always she is light. You are drifting now among these temples, walking slowly as if your feet barely touch the ground. The air is cool, torches burn low. Priestesses move with grace, carrying bowls of fragrant offerings. Flowers, honey, milk, gifts to the mother, gifts to the goddess. The sacred feminine smiles through their devotion. She is not a ruler with harsh commands. She is the gentle force of life itself, the soil that feeds, the rain that nourishes, the heartbeat that never ceases. Your breath falls into rhythm with this heartbeat, soft, steady, eternal. Across the lands, her stories deepen. In Greece, she becomes Demeter, the mother who mourns when her daughter Persephone is taken into the shadowed earth. The seasons change with her sorrow, winter arriving when the daughter is gone. And yet, when reunion comes, spring blossoms again. This too is the whisper of the sacred feminine, that love endures even through separation, that loss is never the final word. In Anatolia, her name is Cybele, mother of mountains, wild, untamed, yet loving. Drums echo in her honor, low and deep, like the heartbeat of the earth. Followers dance in trance, swaying with the winds, offering themselves to her boundless embrace. She is strength and softness in one. She is wilderness and home. Everywhere, the sacred feminine flows like a river. She takes the shape of those who call upon her, yet always she remains the same eternal presence. life-giving, nourishing, enduring. Let the sound of her river carry you. Let it wash through your thoughts. Like cool water over stone, it smooths away all sharpness, all restlessness. Drift now to the shores of Crete, where the snake goddess lifts serpents in her hands. The snakes, gliding and coiling, are not feared, but honored as signs of renewal, of cycles that never end. She reminds the people that endings are beginnings, that every fall into silence is followed by a rising song. The sacred feminine is not only in temples. She is in the fields where grain sways like waves. She is in the moon, steady in her waxing and waning. She is in the sea, endless, cradling all. To close the eyes is to find her again, in dreams, in breath, in the quiet pulse of life that beats inside the chest. You are floating now, somewhere between story and silence. The figures of goddesses move gently around you. Isis with her wings of protection, Artemis with her moonlit bow, Aphrodite rising from the sea's embrace. They do not demand, they simply exist, radiant, peaceful, eternal. Every goddess is a mirror of the first sacred whisper. Every name is an echo of that earliest song sung to the mother of beginnings. The night deepens. Stars spill across the dark sky like endless grains of light. The sacred feminine cradles them as she cradles you. Her presence is not of fear but of belonging. You are safe, as the earliest people once felt safe in her arms. You are part of her circle, endless and calm. Your breath is the breath of the earth. Your body, the body of the stars. Her embrace, the embrace of all that ever was and all that ever will be. The story of the dawn is not one of fire and noise. It is one of quiet remembrance, of small figures carved in stone, of seeds planted in soil, of lullabies whispered to sleeping children. The sacred feminine was, and still is, the soft song of existence itself. Rest now in her song. Let the story fall like gentle rain upon your mind. There is no need to hold on, no need to struggle. The mother of beginnings carries you, as she has carried all. Let us drift onward, toward other lands, other stories, other dreams. But for now, let the stars return to their places, and let sleep carry you into her eternal embrace. The night grows deeper. A quiet breath moves across the sands of time, carrying us gently toward the river that has long nourished a land of mystery. The stars glow above, their reflections shimmering in still waters. You drift now toward Egypt, where the Nile flows like a ribbon of silver beneath the moon. The air is warm, yet soft with night. Papyrus reeds sway, whispering secrets to the gentle breeze. Torches flicker on temple walls, casting golden halos across carved stone. And in this sacred stillness, the presence of a goddess rises. Isis, mother of magic, mother of devotion, the eternal guide. She is not far, not hidden in unreachable heights. She walks close to the heart. Her spirit rests in the lull of flowing water, in the cry of newborn children, in the tears of those who grieve. She is the healer, the protector, the weaver of love that never dies. Breathe slowly, as the ancients once did when they gathered in her name. They lit lamps of fragrant oil. They brought offerings of milk and bread, of flowers and incense. They whispered prayers for safe births, for health, for the return of lost loved ones. Isis was their comfort, their hope, their gentle strength. Her story is old, carried through centuries like a lullaby upon the lips of generations. Long ago she was the devoted wife of Osiris, the green god of life and rebirth. But shadow came. Osiris was struck down by Set, the god of storms, torn apart and scattered across the land. The world grew dim, and yet Isis did not surrender to grief. She wandered the earth with patience and faith. She searched the forests, the deserts, the marshes. Every fragment of Osiris she found, she gathered close, her hands tender, her heart unyielding. Piece by piece she restored him, whispering magic over every part. Her love became her spell, her devotion became her power. When all was restored, she leaned close and breathed new life into him. Though Osiris could not remain in the world of the living, he became lord of the underworld, gentle king of the departed. And from their union came a son, Horus, falcon of the sky, who would rise to protect the people and carry the legacy of light. This is the story told by firelight, a story of love that does not end, a story of grief turned into healing, a story of patience, faith, and the eternal bond between souls. Let your breath follow her rhythm now. slow, patient, healing. Every inhale, a gathering of strength. Every exhale, a release into peace. The temples of Isis grew far beyond Egypt. Her presence drifted across seas, carried by sailors who prayed for safe journeys. In distant lands, she was honored as a guardian of travelers, a mother of the lost, a comfort to the brokenhearted. In Rome, in Greece, in lands beyond, her cult blossomed. Wherever people longed for hope, her light was carried. Imagine now a temple by the water's edge. The moon glows above, its reflection broken by gentle ripples. Inside, the air is sweet with incense. Priestesses sing in soft tones, their voices rising and falling like waves. Candles burn low, their flame steady, their glow soft. Isis stands there, carved in stone yet alive in the heart. Her wings wide, her gaze eternal, her crown crowned with the throne. The wings of Isis spread across your imagination now. They are vast and luminous. They wrap around you like a mother's arms. They whisper of safety. They promise that no matter how far you drift, you are never beyond her embrace. Let yourself feel the calm of that embrace. It is gentle. It is endless. It is like lying within the quiet of the river, held, carried, never alone. The ancient people believed that Isis could heal any wound, calm any storm, soothe any pain. Her words were spells, but not of harsh command. Rather, they were songs of love, sung to the heart of the world. When a child cried in fear, they called to her. When a mother labored in birth, they called to her. When the sick lay in shadow, they called to her. And she answered with calm, with light, with the promise of renewal. Drift deeper into her story. See her face in the stars above the Nile. Her eyes soft, her hands gentle, her spirit vast as the sky. She is both queen and mother, both magician and healer. She belongs not only to the past, but to the eternal rhythm of life itself. Your thoughts are slowing now. Like boats upon the Nile, they drift without effort. The current carries them. The night enfolds them. The goddess watches over them. Her magic is not thunder, not fire, not noise. It is the quiet binding of broken things. It is the breath that gives life to what was lost. It is the love that endures beyond endings. Rest in that thought. Love does not vanish. It transforms, it heals, it holds. This was the gift of Isis, the gift carried across deserts and seas, across temples and centuries. Close your inner eyes, and you can feel her wings brushing softly against your shoulders. Close your mind, and you can hear her lullaby in the hush of night winds. Close your heart, and still she enters, bringing light into hidden places. The story fades now into the rhythm of your breath.
The torches dim.
The river flows. The stars shimmer above the silent land. And Isis remains, mother of magic, mother of love, cradling the world in endless care. Now rest as her wings surround you. Now drift as the Nile carries you gently onward. Now sleep as the stars return to their watch. Let us drift onward into the next dream, the next story, the next embrace of night. The night deepens. The stars lean closer, their silver light spilling like water across the silent earth. You drift in this gentle darkness, carried as though on quiet wings. Before you rises a city of ancient clay, resting beside wide rivers. This is Mesopotamia, cradle of old stories, land of gods and temples, where incense once curled upward into the night sky. In this land, the people spoke of Inanna. She was the queen of heaven, radiant and proud. Her beauty was like the moon at its fullest. Her power was like the morning star shining before dawn. But Inanna's story is not only of light, it is also of shadow. It is the story of her descent into the underworld, a journey that teaches both courage and surrender. Breathe slowly now as her story begins. Feel the hush of the air like the stillness before a dream. The gates of the underworld stand before her, heavy and dark. Inanna steps forward. She does not turn away, for she seeks wisdom that cannot be found in the bright sky above, but only in the silence below. The gatekeeper watches her. His eyes are like stone, his hands like dust. Who enters the land from which no one returns, he asks. And Inanna replies that she is the queen of heaven, that she comes to witness her sister Ereshkigal, who rules in shadow. The gates creak open, but with each gate she passes, a piece of her power is taken away. At the first, her crown is removed. At the second, her earrings. At the third, her necklace. At the fourth, her breastplate. At the 5th, her rings. At the 6th, her robe. At the 7th, even her dignity, the last veil of her pride. One by one, she surrenders. Her jewels fall away like stars fading at dawn. Her robes slip from her like water returning to the sea. She stands bare and humbled, stripped of all that once declared her queen. Breathe gently, and imagine this letting go. Every ornament, every burden falling away. The gates behind her are closed. Only stillness remains. At last, she enters the throne room of Ereshkigal, queen of the underworld. Ereshkigal's eyes are heavy with grief, her lips pressed with sorrow. She is the mirror opposite of Inanna, the sister who dwells below, holding the weight of endings, the keeper of silence. Inanna stands before her, no longer as a queen, but as a soul, bare and human. And in that moment, the judgment of the underworld falls upon her. She is struck down. Her body hangs still upon a hook, suspended in the realm of shadow. The world above feels her absence. The fields grow barren. The animals wander aimlessly. The people cry out for life, but life does not answer. The rhythm of the earth falters, yet even here, in deepest stillness, the story does not end. From the heavens, from the waters, from the prayers of the grieving, help is sent. Tiny messengers slip into the underworld, small as shadows, humble as whispers. They carry with them no weapons, no commands, only sympathy. They speak gently to Ereshkigal, who weeps alone. They mirror her sorrow. They do not resist her grief. They hold it with her. And Ereshkigal, touched by their kindness, relents. She allows Inanna to rise again. The Queen of Heaven returns, lifted slowly from the hook, restored to breath. But her return is not without change. She has walked through silence. She has seen the end and carried it within her. She has learned that true power is not in jewels, not in crowns, not in robes. It is in surrender. It is in knowing that even in endings there is renewal. Inanna ascends through the 7 gates once more. At each, a piece of her adornment is returned. Her robe, her necklace, her crown. Yet now she wears them differently. They no longer rule her. They are symbols only, reminders of what she has endured. Breathe softly as you walk beside her in your imagination. Each gate is like a step of waking. Each returned gift is like a gentle breath of morning. The underworld fades behind. The sky opens above, and the world blooms again. The grain rises once more from the earth. The flocks find pasture. The rivers flow with ease. The people sing songs of gratitude, whispering her name into the dawn air. Inanna, Queen of Heaven, who returned. This myth carried a rhythm, like the turning of the seasons. It reminded the people that all things move in cycles, that even in the deepest winter, spring waits quietly, that even in sorrow, joy is seated, that even in silence, a song is forming. Your own breath follows this cycle now. Each inhale a rising, each exhale a return, each moment a rhythm, eternal and calm. Inanna's descent is not only the story of a goddess, it is the story of every soul that has known loss. It is the story of every heart that has walked through shadow only to find light again. It is the reminder that surrender is not defeat. It is the doorway to renewal. The night softens around you. The stars glimmer like jewels once surrendered, now returned. The earth breathes again, steady and calm. The river carries its song, endless and gentle. Drift into that song. Let its current guide you. You are safe, carried like a vessel through calm waters. The descent is past. The return is here. And the story rests softly in your heart. Now close the gates in your mind. Let the underworld grow still. Let the stars return to their quiet watch. Inanna has risen. The world is whole, and you too are whole, safe in the embrace of night. Let us drift onward to the next story, the next dream, the next breath of peace. The night stretches wide, calm and eternal. Stars float above like lanterns set upon a velvet sea. The air is quiet, soft with the hush of forgotten songs. You rest within this silence, floating as though on warm currents of air. And slowly, another story begins to rise, like music drifting through an open doorway, like golden light entering a darkened room. This is the story of Hathor. Her name was spoken in ancient Egypt, in temples built from stone, in deserts where the sand gleamed white beneath the sun. She was known as the Golden One, a mother of joy, a lady of music, a bringer of love. Breathe gently as her spirit takes shape. Imagine her presence like the warmth of morning sunlight, falling across your skin after a long night of cool shadow. She is not stern, not harsh. She does not rule with heavy command. Her power is soft, like the laughter of children, like the sweetness of honey placed on the tongue. Hathor was often pictured as a cow, her great eyes calm, her body a vessel of milk and plenty. To the people of the Nile, the cow was not only an animal, it was a mother, a symbol of endless giving, a fountain of life. So too was Hathor, a sky that nourishes, a heart that overflows. In other times, she appeared as a woman, her hair dark as the river, her crown holding the shining sun between horns of silver. She carried the rattle of music, the sistrum, which shimmered like water when played. Its sound was believed to heal sadness, to invite the gods, to call the spirit back into harmony. Listen, if you will, in the quiet of your mind. Imagine that soft rattle, a golden rhythm like the pulse of the earth itself. A gentle shaking, a soft song without words, a heartbeat stretched into sound. Hathor's temples were places of joy. Inside their stone walls, women danced, men clapped their hands. Musicians filled the halls with flutes and drums. This was worship, but also celebration. To honor Hathor was to remember that life is not only labor, not only struggle, but also laughter and sweetness and rest. Breathe deeply here, and let that joy touch your own chest, like a soft glow spreading inside, quiet, steady, calm. The people came to her not only in festivals, but also in their weariness. When sadness pressed upon their hearts, when grief sat heavy on their shoulders, they called on Hathor. They believed she would take them in her arms, offering milk of comfort, offering music to heal their wounds. She was the one who could soothe the restless spirit, who could replace sorrow with peace. Imagine her now, standing in the twilight, her figure outlined by a golden horizon. The air around her is warm, scented with blossoms. She extends her hand, and from her palm pours light, not bright and harsh, but soft, like candle flame. She touches the weary, and their breathing eases. She touches the broken, and their hearts remember sweetness. The stories say that even the sun itself rested in her arms. When Ra, the great sun god, grew weary after his endless journey across the sky, it was Hathor who welcomed him. She gave him rest so he might rise again with strength. She was the gentle mother of gods, just as she was mother to people, to animals, to all life that breathed beneath the heavens. You too may rest in her embrace. You too may imagine the warmth of her arms around you. The night is long, but it is softened by her presence. The world is wide, but she cradles it like a child. In her temples, mirrors were placed upon the walls, polished bronze that caught the sun. These mirrors were sacred, for Hathor was also the goddess of beauty, of reflection, of the simple joy of seeing oneself bathed in light. To look into her mirror was to see not flaw, not burden, but radiance. It was to see the soul shining back, untouched by sorrow, as pure as morning. Pause here and breathe with that image. Imagine a mirror within yourself. See it shining, polished, calm. Whatever burdens you carry today slip away from its surface. Only the light remains. Hathor's gift was not only beauty, but also love. Lovers called upon her. Mothers whispered her name when children were born. Farmers sang to her as they sowed the land. Sailors prayed to her as they set forth on the river. Her love was not narrow, not given to one and not the other. It flowed like the Nile itself, wide and generous, touching all who lived by its banks. The people said she danced in the heavens. Her joy was the music of stars, her steps the turning of constellations. And when they themselves danced, whether in temple or in village square, they felt her with them. She was the rhythm of their feet, the laughter in their throats, the glow in their faces after long movement. Even death did not end her care, for Hathor was believed to meet souls at the western horizon, where the sun falls into shadow. She would greet them with music, with open arms, guiding them gently to the realm beyond. She was not a gate of fear, but a door of comfort, reminding them that endings too can be soft. Now imagine the horizon before you. The sun has set, but in its place rises a deep calm. You are not alone. Hathor is there, her presence golden, her voice a low hum of music, guiding you onward without fear. Her power is gentle. Her power is joy. Her power is the reminder that life is not only survival, but also beauty, also sweetness, also song. And when you feel weary, you may remember her. When your spirit feels heavy, you may call upon her light. She will cradle you as the cow cradles her calf, as the sky cradles the stars, as the earth cradles its rivers. Now the story softens, like music fading at the end of a song. The desert night stretches quiet again. The temples close their gates. The dancers rest. The musicians set down their flutes and drums. Only the stars remain, glittering above like scattered gold. And you too may rest now. You too may feel the gentleness of Hathor. Her laughter lingers like warm wind. Her music echoes like distant water. Her arms encircle you like twilight. Let the breath slow. Let the heart be still. The golden cow of the heavens watches over you. The Lady of Love hums softly, her voice blending with the hush of the night. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep as the temples grow quiet. Now drift, carried on Hathor's joy, into dreams as soft as her embrace. Let us drift onward, toward the next story, the next dream, the next gentle light. The night is still. The stars stretch across the sky like silver dust scattered on velvet. The air is cool, carrying the hush of unseen fields. You are safe, resting beneath this wide and ancient sky. And now gently, a story rises. A story of mother and daughter. A story of love that bends with the seasons, yet never breaks. This is the tale of Demeter and Persephone. A tale the Greeks whispered under the olive trees. A tale sung in temples with low voices. A tale carried on the winds of spring and winter. It is a hymn of separation, a hymn of reunion, a hymn that reminds the heart. Even in the darkest winter, spring always returns. Demeter was the goddess of the grain. Her hands were the color of wheat, her breath the scent of fresh harvest. She was the mother of all growing things, the barley that fed villages, the golden corn that bent beneath the sun, the orchards heavy with fruit. When she walked, flowers leaned toward her. When she touched the soil, it answered with green abundance. Her daughter was Persephone, a maiden bright as dawn. Her laughter was clear. Her eyes carried the light of hidden meadows. She loved to wander the fields, gathering blossoms, braiding garlands of wildflowers in her hair. To Demeter, Persephone was not only a child. She was the heart itself, the promise that life continues, the gentle glow that makes all labor sweet. One day, Persephone bent to gather a flower. The earth beneath her feet shivered, then opened with a deep sigh. From the shadowed cleft rose Hades, lord of the underworld, his chariot black as midnight. With a sweep of his arm, he carried Persephone into the dark below. The earth closed once more. The field stood silent, only the petals of the plucked flower drifting down like forgotten tears. Demeter searched. She walked the lands, her feet bare against the dust, her hands trembling. She called her daughter's name across the valleys. She asked the rivers, she asked the mountains, she asked the stars. But silence was all that answered, and as grief filled her, the earth grew barren. Seeds would not sprout. Fields grew dry. The world entered a deep famine. In the underworld, Persephone sat in stillness. The land of shadow was quiet, lit only by pale glows of stone and ember. Though Hades placed a crown upon her brow, though he offered her a throne beside his own, her heart longed for the open air. She remembered the sun, the scent of blooming violets, the voice of her mother calling her name. She held that memory like a candle, and it did not fade. The gods above saw the sorrow of Demeter. They saw the fields wither, they saw the people weaken. Without grain, without fruit, life could not go on. So Zeus, the father of gods, sent messengers into the shadowed world. They carried his command. Persephone must return. Yet there was a law, deep and unbending. Any soul who ate of the food of the underworld would belong to it forever. And Persephone in her hunger had tasted 6 seeds of a pomegranate, red jewels of fruit, bright even in the dark, sweet upon her tongue. 6 seeds only, but enough to bind her fate. A compromise was shaped. Persephone would return to her mother, but for part of each year, 6 months for the 6 seeds, she must descend again into shadow. So the cycle was born. When Persephone rises from the underworld, Demeter greets her with open arms. The earth wakes in joy. Flowers break the soil. Trees spread their blossoms. Birds return with song. This is spring. This is summer. This is the world in its fullness. When Persephone must return below, Demeter's heart grows heavy once more. The fields turn brown. Leaves fall. The air grows cold. This is autumn. This is winter. This is the world in its waiting, and yet, always the cycle turns. Always the daughter returns. Always the mother smiles again. Breathe deeply now, and feel that rhythm within your own chest. Seasons turning, loss and return, shadow and light. It is the rhythm of all things. Every night becomes morning. Every winter becomes spring. Every sorrow carries the seed of joy. Imagine Demeter's embrace, warm, full of the scent of wheat fields. She gathers you close as she gathers her daughter. Her love is steady, endless as the earth itself. Imagine Persephone's smile, bright, clear, as though made of sunlight. She steps from the shadows, flowers rising at her feet. Her presence reminds you that darkness does not last, that even in the underworld, hope is never lost. The Greeks honored them in secret rites. In torchlight and silence, they gathered to remember this story. They whispered of Demeter's grief, of Persephone's return. They believed that by honoring the bond of mother and daughter, they too would find peace beyond death. For if Persephone could rise from the underworld, so too could the soul rise into light. This was their comfort. This was their hymn, and it lingers still like the soft wind that moves through quiet fields at dawn. Now rest with this story. Feel the earth beneath you, steady, timeless, patient. Feel the seasons around you, turning without hurry, circling without end. Feel the bond of love that holds the world together, a bond that no shadow can undo. The night stretches calm. The stars return steady in their places. Demeter rests. Persephone smiles. And their eternal bond hums like a lullaby in the dark. Let us drift onward now, toward other stories, toward deeper dreams, toward the gentle peace that waits in sleep. Now rest as the seasons turn, as the earth holds you close, as love, like spring, always returns. The night is wide and still. Above, the moon shines full and quiet, casting silver across the sleeping world. The trees sway gently in the cool air, and the soft hum of crickets drifts like a distant lullaby. You walk upon a hidden path lit only by the pale glow of moonlight, a path that leads deeper into silence, deeper into dream. This is the path of Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, the goddess of the moon, protector of the wild places. Her spirit is fierce, yet tender, a light that guides both animals and humans alike. She moves through forests with bare feet. She moves through mountains with calm strength. Her bow rests across her shoulders, yet her arrows are not of anger, but of balance, of protection, of the harmony between all living things. In ancient Greece, Artemis was loved as the maiden of freedom. She belonged to no one but herself. She walked wherever she pleased, across the thick forests, through the quiet rivers, over the hills where stags leapt and wolves sang. She carried the silver moon as her companion, and wherever its light touched, there she was present. She was also a guardian. Those who wandered in the wild at night felt her eyes upon them. Not harsh, not fearful, but protective. The deer were her children. The wolves were her kin. The rivers and groves were her temples. To harm them was to wound her. To honor them was to win her blessing. Picture now a grove beneath the stars. Tall pines reach upward, their branches whispering like prayers. The ground is soft with moss, and the air is cool with the scent of earth. The moon spills silver across every leaf, and in that glow, a figure walks. Artemis. Her hair falls dark as night, her skin pale as the moon itself. In her hands she carries a bow of shining light. Her eyes are calm and watchful, seeing every shadow, every movement, every life that stirs in the forest. Beside her, a stag moves, its antlers crowned with silver dew. An owl circles above, its wings wide, silent as a dream. They are her companions, her silent choir, her family of the night. The people of Greece told stories of Artemis to remind themselves of the sacredness of wildness. They prayed to her before hunts, asking her blessing, asking her permission, so that no arrow was wasted and no life taken without respect. For Artemis was both huntress and protector. She knew that life is a cycle, to take, but also to give, to walk lightly upon the earth. Mothers prayed to her as well. For though she never bore children, she was the guardian of birth. She stood at the threshold, a light in the darkness, guiding mothers through their most sacred hours. Her presence was said to be gentle then, a cool hand upon the brow, a soft voice in the shadows of the night. Imagine now walking with her through a forest. The air is clear. The stars above glimmer faintly, yet the moon is your lamp, casting silver across every path. You hear the trickle of a hidden stream. You hear the rustle of foxes passing unseen. Every sound is soft, woven into the music of the night. Artemis walks beside you in silence. Her steps do not break a twig. Her presence is calm yet strong. You feel safe in her company, as though no harm could touch you here. The shadows of the forest are deep, but under her light they lose their sharpness. They become gentle. They become part of the dream. In her temples, people laid down offerings of honey, of oil, of simple bread. Not gold, not jewels. For Artemis loved purity. She loved what was humble and close to the earth. Her altars were often outdoors, where wind and rain could touch them, where the scent of pine and smoke could rise together. At night, the faithful would gather. Torches in hand, they sang hymns to the moon. They asked Artemis for strength, for safety, for guidance along life's uncertain paths. And always their voices carried upward, as if the silver moon itself was listening. There is a gentleness in Artemis that lives beyond myth. It is the gentleness of the night sky, holding every traveler in silence. It is the gentleness of the deer, soft-eyed, stepping carefully through the woods. It is the gentleness of freedom itself. The freedom to wander, to breathe, to rest, to be at peace beneath the stars. She reminds us that nature is sacred, that even in darkness light will find us, that we are never truly alone, for the wild itself is alive, watching, protecting, singing in silence. The path continues now, stretching deeper into dream. The forest fades into mist. The stag bows its head and disappears. The owl circles once more, then vanishes into the night. And Artemis, glowing with the soft silver of the moon, pauses at the edge of the path. She turns, her gaze calm and kind. She lifts her hand as though in blessing, and then she is gone, melted into the light of the moon, a guardian in the distance, a protector who never leaves, but always watches. Now, as you drift into sleep, feel her presence still near. Feel the cool touch of moonlight on your skin. Feel the gentle strength that protects you, like the forest itself holding you close. The world is safe tonight. The wild is sacred tonight, and Artemis walks quietly through your dreams. Let the silver path lead you deeper. Let the stars hum softly overhead. Let the moon cradle you in its glow. Now rest as the night grows tender. Now sleep as Artemis keeps her watch. Now drift as the moonlit path carries you onward. The night opens like a slow curtain. Above, the stars glimmer faintly, each one a candle upon the endless sky. A cool wind stirs through hidden valleys, carrying the scent of pine, carrying the hush of mountain stones. The earth feels deep, eternal, and all around, a rhythm begins to pulse, a distant echo, soft, steady, like the beating of a drum. You follow the sound as if it were a heartbeat. It draws you through quiet forests where shadows fall like veils across the path. It guides you into the embrace of high mountains, where moonlight touches cliffs with silver fire. The rhythm deepens, becomes steady, becomes alive. It is not only sound, it is the pulse of the world itself. This is the song of Cybele, the great mother of Phrygia, mother of the gods, mother of the earth. Her voice is the wind in the trees. Her touch is the soil beneath your feet. Her gaze is the wild mountain that cannot be tamed. The ancients called her Magna Mater, the Great Mother. She was worshipped beneath open skies, within caves, upon steep rocks where eagles circled. Her presence was fierce yet tender. She fed the land, yet shook it with storms. She cradled life in her arms, yet reminded her children that nature has both calm and fire. Imagine now a temple carved into the side of a mountain. Its pillars rise from stone, tall and silent under the moon. Within, torches burn slowly, casting warm light upon ancient walls. Figures gather there, their robes flowing, their heads crowned with leaves and flowers. They wait in silence, listening for her arrival. Then the drums begin, low at first, like a heartbeat, then faster, like the gallop of hooves upon the earth. Flutes join in, soft and spiraling, like the call of birds at dawn. The music rises, and the dancers begin to move. Their steps are wild yet graceful. They turn in circles, their arms lifted like branches, their voices joining in chant. They are her children. They are her worshippers, and they dance not for spectacle, but to dissolve into her presence. Every spin, every step, every breath is an offering to the mother. Cybele was not a goddess of still altars alone. She lived in the mountains where lions roared at her side. She rode in a chariot pulled by great beasts, symbols of her untamed power. Her crown was a mural of city walls, for she was both protector of people and spirit of the wilderness beyond. To her, there was no division between city and forest, between cave and temple. All was her body. All was her spirit. All belonged within her vast embrace. The myths tell of her love and her sorrow. They tell of Attis, the beautiful youth who became her devotee. Some say he wandered too far, and in grief or madness his fate was sealed beneath her shadow. The rites of Cybele remembered him, the drums of mourning, the chants of rebirth, the promise that life returns from death's silence. For in Cybele's mysteries, there was always this truth: all things move in circles. The seed falls, it dies within the soil, yet from that darkness springs the green shoot. The river floods, it breaks its banks, yet from its waters new fields grow rich. Life and death are sisters, dancing to the same drum, and the mother holds them both. Picture now the dancers in the torchlit temple. Their voices rise not in frenzy, but in trance. Their feet move upon the stone floor, beating softly like rain. The drums deepen, their rhythm steady, as if the very heart of the mountain were alive. A priestess steps forward, her robe flowing like a river. In her hands, she carries a small drum. She beats it softly, and each sound ripples outward, a circle within a circle, a breath within a breath. Her eyes close, and her face is calm. She is no longer herself, but a vessel. The Great Mother moves through her, speaks through her silence, and those who listen, those who close their eyes, feel her presence descend. It is not frightening. It is not loud. It is like the weight of the earth itself, steady, grounding, a deep embrace that cradles every soul. Cybele was honored not just in Phrygia, but across the ancient world. Her temples rose in Greece, in Rome, where her image was carried through streets in grand processions. Drums thundered, cymbals clashed, yet even in the noise, her essence remained the same: a call to remember the mother, a call to remember the wildness that lives beneath stone, beneath soil, beneath the quiet pulse of our own hearts. Now, let the music of her rites soften. The drums fade like echoes in a dream. The torches dim, their flames bending low. The dancers rest, their robes falling still around them. The priestess lowers her drum, her head bowed in silence, and you too may rest. For Cybele is not only found in ritual. She is in the hush of the forest, the steadiness of mountains, the quiet power of the ground beneath you. She is the whisper of roots that hold the earth together. She is the strength that carries you from sorrow into renewal, from winter into spring, from silence into song. The night grows softer now. The stars gather above like gentle eyes. The mountain breathes, its stones holding secrets older than memory. The Great Mother remains, watching, embracing, protecting. Her mysteries are vast, but her touch is simple. It is the touch of the earth under your body. It is the beat of your own heart. It is the rhythm of the world, soft, eternal, guiding you into rest. So drift now. Drift as the drums fall silent. Drift as the torches fade to embers. Drift as the mountain night holds you close. Cybele's mysteries are not to be solved, but to be felt. And in this stillness, they cradle you. They carry you. They guide you deeper into dream. Now rest as the stars return. Now sleep as the mother watches. Now drift upon the heartbeat of the earth. The night is quiet. The stars drift slowly above, like lanterns across a dark ocean. The air is warm, yet touched by a soft wind that smells of salt and water. Before you lies the endless sea. It moves in silver waves, shimmering under the moonlight. The tide comes close, then retreats again, a slow breath of the earth itself. The water whispers as it folds across the sand, each ripple a lullaby, each foam a fading memory. The world is hushed. The sea holds its secrets. And from these depths, a story begins. Long ago, when the sky was still young and the gods were only finding their names, there was born a goddess unlike any other. She did not come from womb nor from mortal soil. She came from the sea. She rose from the foam that blossomed upon the waves. The waters turned white, shining under dawn's first light, and within that shining foam, a figure formed, gentle and radiant. A seashell carried her, like a cradle carved from pearl. The breeze lifted her hair, long as flowing rivers. Her eyes held the calm of oceans, and her skin shone with the light of dawn. The sea itself sang as she rose. The waves danced, welcoming their child. The winds whispered her name, Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, of love, of desire. Imagine her now, floating upon the seashell, as the waters carry her to the shore. Her form glows softly, not with fire, but with the warmth of life itself. Where her feet touch the sand, flowers bloom. Where her gaze falls, hearts awaken. She is the gentle longing that stirs within all beings. She is the spark that binds soul to soul, heart to heart, life to life. The ancients told her story not to capture her, but to remind themselves of the tide within. For Aphrodite is not only goddess of the seas, she is also goddess of the inner ocean, the quiet longing, the tender flame, the song of connection that flows through every heart. On the island of Cyprus, where waves curl against shining sands, her first temple was raised. It stood open to the sky, its columns white as shells, its altar filled with roses and incense. Pilgrims came from near and far, not only to seek her blessing, but to remember what she awakens. They brought offerings of doves, symbols of peace, symbols of devotion. They scattered petals upon the sea, letting the tide carry their prayers back to her foam-born cradle. Each prayer was simple, for love, for union, for the healing touch of tenderness. Aphrodite was not fire and fury. Her power was softer, like water that wears down stone. She could not be bound, for love itself is wild. It cannot be commanded, only invited. It cannot be held, only cherished. And so her myth carried a truth, that beauty is not just seen with the eyes. It is felt as warmth, as kindness, as the gentle pull of one soul to another. Picture her again, standing upon the shore. The sea still glimmers around her. Her hair flows like rivers of gold. Doves circle above her, their wings soft as whispers. Her smile is calm, yet it holds the mystery of the ocean itself. She walks slowly, her footsteps leaving no mark upon the sand. For she is not bound by earth. She belongs to sky, to water, to every heart that has ever known longing, and you feel her presence. It is not loud. It is not sharp. It is like the hush of waves folding gently against the shore. It is like the glow of dawn touching the horizon. It is like the warmth of a hand reaching softly into yours. The poets sang of her. They said she tamed even the strongest hearts. They said no god, no mortal, could resist the pull of her grace. And yet her gift was not conquest. It was connection. It was the weaving of lives, the joining of stories, the soft thread that ties us all. For love does not destroy. It creates, it builds, it nurtures, it heals. Close your eyes and listen to the sea. The waves rise, the waves fall. Each crest of foam is like a breath of the goddess. She rises with the tide and she rests with its return. She teaches through silence, through rhythm, through the gentle truth that love is always present. Even when hidden, it waits like a pearl within a shell. Even when distant, it returns, like the tide to the shore. In her temples, flames burned through the night. Priestesses wore garlands of roses, their songs soft as lullabies. They did not shout, they did not command. They simply sang of beauty, of tenderness, of longing as natural as the ocean. Those who entered the temple left with lighter hearts. Not because their lives had changed, but because they remembered that they too were born from the sea of love, that within them, like within the foam, lives the same spark. Now the night grows deeper. The stars shine brighter, as if leaning closer to watch. The waves move slower, a cradle for the world, and Aphrodite still stands upon her seashell, upon the foam, forever rising, forever present. She is not far away. She is here, in the rhythm of your breath, in the softness of your resting body, in the gentle tide of sleep that begins to carry you now. So let the sea hold you. Let the foam cradle you. Let Aphrodite's presence soften your spirit, calm your thoughts, and remind you that beauty is always here, like the tide, like the stars, like the hush of the night. Drift with her. Drift with the waves. Drift into the dream, where seashells carry you and the goddess rises in light. Now rest as the foam folds back into the sea. Now sleep as the waves sing their lullaby. Now drift as Aphrodite smiles upon you. The night is deep, yet gentle. Above, the sky is wide and velvet, sprinkled with stars that shine like ancient eyes. The air is still, carrying only the faint rustle of leaves as the earth breathes quietly. A hush falls across the world, as though everything has paused, waiting. It is in this silence that the crossroads appear. 3 paths open before the traveler. Each road is wrapped in shadow, silvered by moonlight. The stones are smooth, worn by many feet across endless time. And in the center of this crossing stands a figure. She is cloaked in twilight, her presence both soft and strong. In her hands she carries torches, flames that do not burn but glow like starlight caught in glass. This is Hecate, the goddess of thresholds, the guardian of in-between places. She is the keeper of mysteries that dwell in shadow, the companion of those who walk where paths divide. Her face is calm, her gaze watchful, her presence both comforting and vast. Wherever choices gather, she waits, unseen yet felt, steady as the moon's pull upon the tide. The air at the crossroads is thick with meaning. It feels as though the stones themselves remember every step, every hesitation, every prayer whispered into the night. Here, a wanderer may feel the weight of decision or the peace of surrender. Here, nothing is forced. Only possibilities stretch outward, like rivers branching from a spring. Hecate's torches cast soft circles of light. They do not pierce the dark, but instead cradle it, as though the shadows are her children too. The night does not resist her glow, but bends toward it, like petals folding around dew. Each flame is a guide, not to a single truth, but to the comfort of knowing that even in uncertainty, no one is alone. The goddess of the crossroads is not a voice of command. She does not shout. She does not point. Her power is quiet, steady, like the slow rhythm of waves against a hidden shore. She holds the space where choice becomes sacred. She reminds each soul that standing still can be as holy as walking forward. In ancient times, travelers brought offerings to her, small cakes of honey, garlands of flowers, bowls of milk left where the roads divide, not to appease but to honor her, to thank her for watching over their steps when the night was wide and unsure. Dogs, too, walked at her side, their voices carrying into the dark, guardians of silence and sound alike. The crossroads are more than a place upon the earth. They live also within the heart, for each of us carries thresholds, moments where one path meets another. The choice to begin, the choice to pause, the choice to let go. These quiet crossings come not with thunder, but with stillness. And in that stillness, Hecate's torchlight glows. The flame flickers gently. It is like the memory of an old song. It is like the comfort of a hand once held. It is like the breath you release as sleep begins to rise. Her light does not rush you, nor does it fade. It simply waits, as eternal as the stars, as patient as stone. Imagine now that you walk beneath her watch. The night is cool, the ground soft with fallen leaves. The moon hangs above, silver and kind. You hear the faint howl of a dog far away, a sound that stirs not fear but recognition. You are safe, you are accompanied. The goddess walks with you, though she makes no sound. Each path before you is calm. There is no wrong way, no danger, only gentle unfolding. One road may lead to water, where a stream sings softly between mossy banks. Another may lead to a meadow, where the air smells of lavender and grass. Another may lead deeper into the forest, where quiet is rich and full. Wherever you step, the earth will hold you. Wherever you pause, the stars will shine above. Hecate stands where the paths meet, her torches lifted high. Her flames move with the wind, not against it. They bow, they dance, they shimmer, but never go out. Their light is not an answer, but a blessing. Not a command, but an embrace. She is the mother of in-betweens, the guardian of those who wander, the friend of the lost, the witness of the waiting. She does not ask for haste, She does not demand arrival. To her, the crossing itself is sacred. The pause, the stillness, the breath taken before the step, and so the night deepens. The air grows softer, the stars more tender. The torches burn quietly, steady as a heartbeat. The crossroads remain, ancient and eternal, a place of rest as much as decision. Here a traveler can linger without fear. Here a soul can breathe without burden. Hecate lifts her gaze to the moon. The silver light glides across her face, touching her with peace. She does not move, but the world moves around her. Branches sway, shadows shift, stars drift slowly across the sky. She is the still point in the turning night, the flame that holds steady when all else flows. For those who stand at the edge of choice, her torches glow with promise. Not of certainty, but of care. Not of answers, but of presence. Each flame is a reminder that no path is walked without light. That even in shadow, something luminous remains. And when the traveler chooses, whether to step forward, or to remain, or to turn back, the goddess does not judge. Her light does not dim. Her presence does not withdraw. For the crossroads are eternal, and she will always be there, waiting, holding, guiding in silence. The night grows softer still. The stars blur into gentle haze. The torches flicker low yet steady. The goddess does not fade, but she grows quiet as though she too enters dream. The paths remain, unwinding into darkness, into rest, into possibility. Now the world sighs like a lullaby. The crossroads dissolve into the rhythm of the night. The goddess remains, yet unseen, her torches glowing somewhere deep within. And as the stars settle into their watch, the soul drifts onward, safe and slow. Now rest, as the crossroads fade into dream. Now rest, as Hecate's torches burn within your heart. Now rest, as the stars return. The night stretches wide, soft and endless. Above, the stars shimmer like gentle sparks scattered across a velvet sky. A warm breeze flows through unseen trees, carrying the faint scent of blossoms and earth. The world feels hushed, as if the heavens themselves are listening. It is here, in this dreamlike silence, that the story of Shakti awakens. Shakti is not a single figure, not one form, but a living energy. She is the breath that stirs the leaves. She is the warmth that glows in firelight. She is the pulse in every heart, the rhythm in every river, the spark in every star. She is power, yet not force. She is creation, yet also dissolution. She is mother, warrior, lover, and guide. To know Shakti is to feel the heartbeat of the universe itself. Long ago, when the sages spoke of her, they spoke in poetry. They said she is the thread that ties all things. Without her, the gods themselves would be still, silent, unmoving. It is she who gives them breath. It is she who gives them strength. Like the hidden root beneath a mighty tree, she nourishes all life. Like the unseen fire within the sun, she illuminates all worlds. Shakti appears in many forms, each a face of her endless power. When the world cries for protection, she rises as Durga, astride her lion, holding weapons in her many hands. She is fierce, yet her fierceness is born of love, the love that defends what is sacred. Her gaze is steady, her presence vast. Her power does not harm without reason. It shields, it guards, it restores balance where balance has been broken. At other times, Shakti comes as Kali, the dark mother, her hair wild, her skin deep as night, her dance unstoppable. She is the one who sweeps away illusion, who cuts the cords of fear. Her appearance may seem terrible, yet she is tender beneath it. For her destruction is not cruelty, but release. She clears what must be cleared, so that life may grow new and pure. In her embrace, even death is not the end, but a return, a folding back into the womb of creation. And then, she is Parvati, gentle as the morning light, soft as a river at dawn. She is devotion, steady and kind. She walks beside her beloved Shiva, not behind, not before, but as an equal flame. She is the patient strength of love that endures, the nurturing hand that soothes, the quiet joy that holds the world in balance. Through her, tenderness itself becomes divine. These faces are not separate, but flowing, like water shifting through streams, rivers, and oceans. Durga, Kali, Parvati. Each is Shakti. Each is the same boundless power shaped to meet the needs of the moment. Fierce when fierceness is needed. Gentle when gentleness heals. Her dance is endless, and all life sways to its rhythm. Imagine now that you stand at the edge of a sacred grove. The moon glows above, silver and calm. The air is warm, carrying the sound of distant drums. Candles flicker on stone altars, their flames bending in the night breeze, and through the shadows she appears, not as one form, but as a flowing presence, shifting like mist, glowing like dawn. At times she is the lion rider, eyes blazing with courage. At times she is the dark dancer, her feet striking the earth in waves of thunder. At times she is the gentle mother, her hand reaching to lift a flower from the ground. Always she is the same Shakti, the force that breathes in you, around you, through all things. The drums grow softer until they are not drums at all, but the sound of your own heart. Thump, 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 steady as the rhythm of her dance, steady as the rhythm of the cosmos. And as the sound carries you deeper, you feel her presence in your breath. Inhale, she fills you with life. Exhale, she carries your worries away. Inhale, she renews. Exhale, she releases. The sages taught that Shakti is the serpent power, coiled at the base of the spine. Dormant, she rests like a seed. Awakened, she rises, winding upward like a gentle river of light. She flows through the centers of the body, unfolding like lotuses, one by one, until she reaches the crown, where she unites with the infinite sky. This rising is not a race. It is a journey of awakening, soft and slow, like dawn spreading across the horizon. It is the meeting of earth and heaven, of human and divine. And as she rises, she does not abandon the ground, for she is both root and blossom, both seed and sun. She holds the fullness of being, the depth and the height, the silence and the song. In every temple across India, her presence is felt, in bells that ring at dawn, in flowers placed upon shrines, in chants that flow like rivers through stone halls. The people bow not in fear, but in reverence, knowing that she is life itself. A flame flickers in her honor, steady and golden. A conch shell sounds, carrying her breath through the air. Every act of devotion is a reminder that Shakti is near, never distant, never apart. The goddess is in the dance of the village girls, their bangles jingling like stars. She is in the cries of the newborn child, first breath drawn from the mystery of her womb. She is in the silence of the forest, where even the wind seems to bow. She is in the rivers, gliding, nourishing, forever flowing. And she is in the heart, quiet, waiting, eternal. Those who turn to her are not asked to abandon the world. She teaches instead the dance of balance, strength and softness, silence and song, fierce action when needed, gentle rest when called. She is not one thing or the other. She is all, and she holds all. Imagine again the grove. The moon hangs low, bathing the trees in silver. The air grows cooler, carrying the faint fragrance of jasmine. A hush falls, and all seems still. Then a soft sound arises, anklets ringing, a whisper of movement through leaves. And there she is dancing. Her form shifts like firelight, fierce then tender, radiant then still. Her steps are not hurried but flowing, eternal. The earth glows beneath her feet. The stars above mirror her light. You watch, yet you are not only watching. For as she moves, something stirs within you. A spark, a warmth, a steady glow. It is Shakti within, the same force, the same flame. The goddess outside is the goddess inside. The dance in the grove is the dance in your heart. The drums are no longer drums. They are your heartbeat, your breath, your pulse. The dance is no longer distant. It is your own life unfolding, soft, eternal, infinite. Now the night deepens. The torches burn low. The stars drift like petals across the sky. Shakti's dance slows, her presence folding into the silence. But she does not leave. She lingers in the breath, in the heart, in the quiet knowing that you are never alone. Her energy flows through every leaf, every stone, every star. She is within, and she is beyond. The grove grows dim, like a dream fading at dawn. The moonlight softens into haze. The drums fall silent. The air is warm, still, safe, and as the night carries you deeper, you rest in the embrace of her power. Now drift onward, carried by her dance. Now rest, held in her endless rhythm. Now sleep as Shakti glows within you, eternal as the stars. The night drapes itself across the sea. The waters of the Mediterranean lie calm, silvered by moonlight, stretching like glass toward the horizon. On the island of Crete, the air is warm, carrying the scent of figs, olives, and salt. A hush falls across the land, broken only by the sound of waves and the soft stir of wind through reeds. It is here, under the endless stars, that the story of the snake goddess begins. She rises from a world now veiled in time. Her temples once stood with painted walls and graceful pillars. alive with the colors of the earth and sea. Women in flowing skirts moved through sacred halls, their voices humming, their steps beating gently against stone floors. They danced to rhythms of the drum, to the whispers of the flute, to the silence of breath. The goddess was at their center, mysterious, radiant, forever alive. In her hands she held serpents, not with fear but with calm strength. The snakes coiled, their bodies winding like rivers of life, their tongues flickering in the air like small sparks of fire. In her grasp, they were not creatures of danger, but of wisdom, of renewal. They were the threads of the earth itself, rising, shedding, beginning again. The snake goddess is more than an image carved in stone or painted on clay. She is the pulse of the earth, the hidden power that renews what has faded. When the fields grow dry, she whispers to the clouds. When winter silences the trees, she calls forth spring. She is the rhythm of cycles, the endless turning of birth, death, and rebirth. Every season bows before her. In the courtyards of Knossos, the sacred rites once unfolded. Torches glowed against the dark. Dancers spun, their skirts flowing like waves. Drums beat steady, like the heartbeat of the world. And there she stood, carved in ivory, painted in color, shining in the minds of her people. The goddess of renewal, holding life in both hands. The serpent has long been a symbol of mystery. It sheds its skin and begins again, leaving behind what was old, stepping into what is new. It moves silently, close to the earth, knowing secrets hidden beneath the soil. To the Minoans, the snake was not a terror, but a teacher. Through the goddess, it became sacred, a sign that nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed. The snake goddess is also the keeper of fertility. She watches the seeds sleeping in the ground, waiting for rain, waiting for sun. She blesses the womb, the grain, the fruit. Her power is the ripening of figs, the swelling of grapes, the golden fields ready for harvest. Life, in all its tender beginnings and abundant fullness, flows from her hands. Her image shows her bare-breasted, proud, unashamed. She is open, not hidden. Her body is not a thing apart from divinity. It is the temple, the sacred vessel, the giver of life. Her gaze is steady, her arms raised, serpents alive in her grasp. Her stance speaks. Life is sacred. The earth is sacred, and the cycles that carry us forward are sacred too. In the soft moonlight, imagine standing within her temple. The walls are painted with spirals, dolphins, lilies, and birds. Every color glows by the flicker of oil lamps. The floor is smooth beneath your feet. The air is cool, yet thick with incense, the scent of herbs rising in waves. Women gather in a circle, their voices low, humming in unison, calling the goddess forth. The dance begins. Bare feet tap gently, skirts twirl, arms rise and sway. The sound of the drum joins the sound of breath. The torches flicker, shadows weaving across the walls like waves, and in the center stands the goddess, her presence not imagined but felt. Her eyes gleam in the firelight. Her serpents move with living grace. Her stillness is powerful, as if the earth itself holds its breath. You watch the serpents in her hands. Their bodies gleam like bronze in the firelight, twisting, unafraid. They are symbols of your own life, always shifting, always shedding what is past, always beginning anew. They remind you that endings are not final, but doorways to fresh beginnings. They remind you that life moves in circles, never broken, always flowing. Outside the temple, the night is alive with stars. The people of Crete knew these stars well. They read their stories, their cycles, their slow turning across the heavens. They knew that the goddess ruled here too, in the tides pulled by the moon, in the planting guided by constellations, in the great harmony of earth and sky. The snake goddess is the bridge between these realms. She stands between earth and heaven, mortal and divine, death and renewal. She reminds us that all things are woven together in a single dance. The serpent in her hand is the thread of that dance, winding, circling, never ending. In dreams, she whispers softly. She tells of a garden where every flower blooms again after fading. She tells of rivers that vanish beneath the ground only to rise again, fresh and full. She tells of the heart, which may break, yet heals, grows stronger, and beats on. Her voice is not loud, but gentle, like the hush of the sea at night. The goddess holds not only the mystery of rebirth, but the strength of balance. In her gaze is both firmness and compassion. She does not deny sorrow, but she does not allow it to linger forever. She welcomes joy, but reminds it to move aside when the time comes for stillness. through her, all emotions find their place, their rhythm, their turning. The women of Crete once carried her symbols with pride. They wore pendants shaped like serpents. They placed clay figurines of her in their homes. They prayed to her for protection, for abundance, for the renewal of life. Her presence was not distant, not unreachable. She was mother, guardian, and mystery all at once. Even now, though her temples have fallen to dust, her spirit lingers. She is in the coiled vines of grape plants, in the spiral of shells by the shore, in the winding rivers that cut through the land. Her power is in every cycle you see, the waxing and waning moon, the ebb and flow of tides, the turning of seasons, the rise and fall of breath. She has never left, for she is life itself, dressed in the symbols of the serpent. The night deepens. The drums grow slow, then fade. The dancers rest, their skirts settling like waves that have reached the shore. The torches burn low, their flames small and golden, and the goddess remains, steady, quiet, eternal, holding the serpents in her hands. Her eyes soften, her presence folds into the silence. The temple grows dim, the stars above grow brighter, and still her lesson lingers. Like the serpent, you too may shed what is old. Like the serpent, you too may rise renewed. The cycle carries you forward, gently, endlessly. Now let us drift onward, into the calm embrace of night. Now rest as the serpents coil into silence as the goddess returns to her dream. Now sleep as the stars watch above, steady and eternal, until morning comes again. The night is quiet over the mountains of Greece. The slopes are wrapped in silver light, where the moon lingers above. Pine trees stand still, their dark forms outlined against the sky. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of herbs that grow wild among the stones. Thyme, sage, and laurel. Far below, a spring flows, its waters whispering softly like a secret being carried to the sea. High upon the slope of Mount Parnassus rests a place once held as holy above all others, the sanctuary of Apollo, the Temple of Delphi. Here, in ages long past, kings and travelers, poets and wanderers, climbed the winding path to seek a voice beyond their own, a voice that could see what eyes could not, a voice that came through the sacred priestess, chosen to speak for the god of light and prophecy. Imagine the temple as it once was. Marble columns gleam beneath the sun. Steps rise toward an open hall where the scent of smoke curls upward. Golden statues catch the light of morning. Laurel leaves rustle in the breeze, their sound like soft applause for the mysteries within. The air is hushed, for this is no place of noise. It is a place of listening, of waiting, of breath held in reverence. At the heart of the temple sits the Pythia, the oracle. She is not a queen, nor a warrior, nor a ruler of land. She is something quieter, a vessel, a bridge, a voice. She sits upon a simple tripod stool above a hidden chamber in the earth. From deep below, vapors rise, curling into the air, mingling with the smoke of burning laurel. The scent is sharp, cleansing, almost sweet. She breathes it in, slowly, until the world grows still. Her eyes close, her hands rest open. Her body is calm, yet her spirit stirs. Those who wait in the temple see her lips begin to move. Her words come softly at first, almost like a chant. They are not hers alone. They flow as though carried by a river from some distant, unseen place. Her voice rises, falls, and carries the weight of mystery. The oracle's words were not always clear. They were like the shapes of clouds, shifting, open to many eyes, to many meanings. A king might hear in them the promise of victory. A traveler might hear a warning to turn back. A mother might hear comfort that her child would find peace. The oracle did not choose who to favor, nor who to deny. She spoke what passed through her, like wind moving through the hollow of a flute. The people believed the god Apollo spoke through her. Apollo, lord of the sun, of music, of healing, of prophecy. He was light-made voice, and the priestess was the vessel, shining not with her own fire, but with the fire she carried for a moment in time. Yet the oracle was not alone. Around her were the priestesses who served. They tended the temple, kept the fires burning, guarded the sacred laurel tree, and sang hymns that filled the air with soft music. They guided those who came, leading them step by step to the presence of the oracle. Their lives were devoted not to power or riches, but to silence, service, and the sacred task of listening. The path to Delphi was not an easy one. Travelers came from far away through valleys and rivers, through fields and seas. Some carried gifts, bowls of gold, fine cloth, carved statues, or rings of silver. Some brought only their questions. Each climbed the sacred way, a winding path lined with offerings left by those who came before. They walked slowly, their eyes lifted to the temple, their hearts heavy with hope. For when they reached the oracle, they sought not just answers, but reassurance, comfort, and a glimpse of the divine. The spring of Castalia flowed nearby, and those who came would wash themselves in its waters. They would cleanse their hands, their faces, their hearts. The coolness of the spring was a blessing, a gentle washing away of dust and sorrow. Only then could they step into the temple's shadow, their bodies refreshed, their spirits stilled. Inside, the smoke of burning herbs drifted in slow spirals. The sound of chanting lingered in the air. The walls glowed with images of gods, heroes, and sacred beasts. Light filtered through narrow openings, casting patterns like golden veils across the floor. The air was thick with mystery, as if time itself had slowed. Those who entered felt the hush of eternity resting upon their shoulders. The oracle listened not only to the god, but also to the earth itself. The vapors rising from the chasm below her seat were said to carry the breath of the earth, an ancient spirit speaking through stone and smoke. The laurel leaves she held were sacred to Apollo, their crackling in the fire a soft drumbeat for the divine. Every element around her, stone, flame, smoke, air, joined together in her voice. When she spoke, those listening leaned close. They took her words like seeds into their hearts, knowing they would grow in their own time. Her answers were not straight paths, but winding ways, like the course of a river through the mountains. They were mirrors in which seekers could glimpse their own truths. The oracle was less a giver of commands and more a weaver of visions. Her words reminded each listener that life itself is a mystery, uncertain, flowing, filled with both shadow and light. Kings came, dressed in gold and purple, their crowns heavy with jewels. Commoners came with simple clothes and bare feet. The oracle did not weigh their worth. To her they were the same. Every heart carried questions. Every soul sought guidance, and the temple welcomed all. The priestesses of Delphi carried this sacred work for centuries. Their voices rose and fell like the tides of the sea. They became part of the mountain itself, timeless, enduring, steady as the pines. Even when wars raged and empires shifted, the oracle remained, a constant flame in a world of change. Close your eyes now and picture the temple at twilight. The last light of the sun fades behind the mountains. The torches inside the sanctuary glow, their flames small and steady. The chanting of the priestesses fills the air, their voices blending like the low song of doves. The oracle breathes in the sacred smoke. Her body sways slightly, as if rocked by the invisible hand of the divine. And then her words come, gentle, rhythmic, flowing like water over stone. She speaks of balance, of light and shadow joined together, of choices that shape the path, like footsteps pressed into soft earth, of endings that are only beginnings in another form. Her words soothe not with certainty but with peace, peace that comes from knowing life is a river that carries all onward, whether they resist or flow with its current. The temple quiets again. The smoke rises slowly, dissolving into the night air. The priestesses sing a final hymn, their voices soft as breath. The laurel leaves rustle in the mountain breeze, their sound a lullaby older than time. And those who came to seek answers feel their hearts lighter, their steps softer, their spirits calmer. For the oracle has given them not only prophecy, but rest, not only visions, but stillness. Her voice lingers like the echo of a flute, fading but never lost. The mountains remember it, the spring carries it. The stars above hold it in their silent watch. Now let us drift onward, beyond the smoke and stone. Let the temple of Delphi fade into the night sky. Let the voices of the priestesses become a gentle hum in your dreams. And now rest, as the stars return, steady and eternal, shining softly above the mountains of Greece. Night gathers over the sea. The waves are calm, their rhythm slow and steady, like the breathing of the earth. The sky is wide and open, a dark canvas brushed with the pale silver of the moon. Stars rest above, each one glowing like a soft lamp in the heavens. On the horizon, the faint line of a coastline rises, and upon it, the flicker of distant fires glimmers. This is the land of Carthage, a city born of courage, of vision, and of the flame carried by its queen. Her name is Dido. To her people, she was not only ruler, but also a guide, a protector, a builder of futures. She carried within her a fire, both tender and fierce, a flame of love, of grief, of strength, and of devotion. The story of Dido is more than a tale of a city or a crown. It is the story of a woman who bore both triumph and sorrow, who turned the spark of her spirit into a light for her people. Let us drift back, softly, to the beginning. Far from Carthage, in the old city of Tyre, Dido was born. Her family was of royal blood, her brother the king. But the palace walls were not filled with safety. They were heavy with shadows, with whispers of betrayal and fear. When her beloved husband was taken from her, Dido felt the weight of grief settle upon her heart. Yet grief did not break her. It became a wind that carried her onward. She gathered those who trusted her, those who would follow her into the unknown, and together they set sail upon the endless waters. Picture their ships beneath the starlit sky. The sails catch the night wind. The wooden hulls creak with each gentle wave. The sea is wide, yet Dido's flame burns steady, guiding them forward. She holds within her the memory of love lost and the hope of a new life waiting ahead. Her people look to her, and in her eyes they see not despair, but strength. The kind of strength that rises quietly, the kind that does not need to shout. At last, the ships reached a shore where the land curved gently into a harbor. The air was sweet with the scent of wild grasses and pines. Birds circled above, their cries sharp against the wind. Here, Dido laid the foundation of a new home. This was the birth of Carthage. Stone by stone, wall by wall, the city rose. Temples were built, markets began to stir, fires glowed in the evening light, and at the center of it all was the queen, steady as the flame she carried. Carthage grew quickly, like a tree spreading its branches. Travelers came from far seas, drawn to its harbors, its trade, its promise of safety. The people found peace in the shadow of its walls, and in the quiet hours of dawn when the mist lay soft upon the waters, they sang hymns of gratitude for the queen who had led them here. Yet even queens are human. Even queens carry tender hearts. For Dido, the fire within her was not only strength, it was also love. When the Trojan wanderer Aeneas came to Carthage, weary from his travels, she welcomed him with open hands. He too had lost much. He too carried a destiny heavy upon his shoulders. Together, they found comfort, a brief refuge from the storms of their journeys. They walked the gardens, spoke by the fire, and for a time, their hearts beat in harmony. But love, like flame, is both gift and trial. Aeneas was bound by fate, called onward to lands beyond, to a future not yet written. He could not remain, though his heart trembled at the leaving. And so he departed, leaving Dido beneath the wide sky of Carthage, her heart heavy once more. In the silence that followed, Dido's flame burned with sorrow. Her grief returned, yet it was deeper now, entwined with the tenderness of what had been. Her people still looked to her. Her city still needed her light, and though her heart felt hollow, she continued to carry the fire of leadership. Even in loss, she did not falter. Even in silence, her presence was steady. The story tells that her sorrow grew too great to bear, that the flame of love consumed her. Yet beyond the tragedy, there is a gentler truth. The truth that her fire never truly faded. Carthage remained. Her people endured. Her vision lived on, carried like a torch from one generation to the next. Dido's flame became more than her own. It became the spirit of a city, a symbol of strength in the face of loss, of creation in the shadow of grief. It whispered to those who came after that love and sorrow are not opposites, but companions, that the heart can be both tender and strong at once. Close your eyes and imagine the city of Carthage at night. The torches along the walls flicker in the sea breeze. The harbor rests quiet, its ships rocking softly with the tide. Above, the stars shine like watchful eyes, keeping guard over the city. And in the palace, a single flame burns in honor of the queen who gave her people this home. The flame is steady. It does not waver. It carries both the warmth of devotion and the quiet ache of longing. It carries the memory of Dido's courage, of her journey across the sea, of her strength in the face of loss. And it carries, too, the softness of her love, the tenderness that still glows in the stones of Carthage. Her story is not only one of sorrow, it is one of endurance, of a woman who bore the weight of destiny with grace. It is the story of a flame that could not be extinguished, even by the winds of grief. It is the reminder that within every heart lies a fire, sometimes fierce, sometimes gentle, but always present. Let the sound of the waves carry you now. Their rhythm is the rhythm of her story, ebbing and flowing, soft and eternal. Let the light of her flame rest within you, warm and steady. For Dido's fire was not lost. It became part of the endless circle of light that guides all who wander. Now drift onward, beyond the walls of Carthage. Let the city fade into the silver of the night sea. Let the flame of the queen become a star above, shining softly in the quiet sky. And now rest, as the stars return and the waves sing their lullaby beneath the moon. The night opens like a slow unfurling flower. Above, the moon glows with silver patience, and stars gather like soft sparks scattered upon velvet. The world hushes into stillness, yet in the distance there is the faintest tremor, a rhythm carried by the breath of the forest. It is neither storm nor thunder. It is the music of movement, the pulse of feet upon the earth, the whisper of branches swaying to hidden hymns. Here, in the deep folds of shadowed woods, where ivy coils and pines stretch their tall arms toward heaven, a gathering waits. It is ancient, older than memory, carried in myth and song. The daughters of mystery, the chosen of Dionysus, rise in moonlight. They are the Maenads, women wrapped in freedom and flame, their spirits untamed, their hearts open to the god of wine, of joy, of life's trembling abundance. The night is gentle. A cool wind slides across the trees, rustling leaves like quiet applause. Each Maenad steps lightly upon the moss, bare feet kissing the earth. They carry thursoi, long staffs crowned with ivy and pine cones, symbols of the wild spirit, half plant, half divine. Their hair is loosened, woven with vines, crowned with flowers that bloom even at midnight. Some hold flutes carved from reeds, others strike the soft skin of drums. Their song is not one of words, but of breath, rising, flowing, like the night's own heartbeat. Theirs is no temple of stone, no rigid altar, no walls to bind the spirit. The forest itself becomes their shrine, the moon, their lamp, the earth, their floor, the stars, their silent witnesses. Here they gather not in silence, but in joy that spills and overflows, in praise that is not carved into words, but breathed into movement. At the heart of their circle stands the idea of Dionysus, not as a stern god on a throne, but as presence. He is in the taste of ripe fruit, in the laughter that rises without warning, in the dance that carries the body beyond thought. He is in the wine that softens sorrow, in the music that loosens chains. The Maenads give themselves to this rhythm, surrendering not to chaos, but to freedom. Listen closely, and you may hear it. The low hum of their chant, the rise of a flute's long note, the tapping of drums. It is slow, steady, like the rolling of waves upon distant shores. The sound does not stir the blood into frenzy, but soothes it, rocking the spirit as a cradle rocks a child. Even their abandon is gentle here in this telling. Even their madness is tender, a drift into the currents of the cosmos. The Maenads begin to move. Their steps are soft, circling. A hand rises, fingers stretch toward the stars, then fall again as though stroking the air. One by one their bodies sway, bending like tall grasses in a midnight breeze. The circle widens, then closes. Arms entwine. Laughter slips through the leaves like a silver stream. They do not dance for an audience. They dance for life itself, for the pulse that binds them to the soil beneath their feet and the sky above their heads. Each motion is a prayer without words, each turn a letting go. They surrender their names, their burdens, their small worries, and in that surrender they find a truth, the joy of being part of something endless. In myth, their ecstasy was said to be fierce, but tonight let it be soft. Let their madness be not of rage, but of release. Their wildness is the freedom of the bird that knows no cage, the river that refuses to stop its flow. It is not destruction, but creation, creation of space, of silence, of song. They become vessels through which the god of joy pours his nectar. And so the forest glimmers not with fire, but with their luminous presence. Their thursoi strike the earth gently, as if waking it from slumber. A flute sighs a melody that feels both ancient and newly born. The drums throb like distant thunder, steady and deep, grounding the body, grounding the soul. In this harmony, each Maenad becomes more than herself. She becomes part of the breathing forest, part of the circling moon, part of the boundless night. They move in waves, forward and back, The circle breaks, reforms, flows like a river that never truly ends. Some lift their heads to the stars, eyes closed, lips parted as though tasting starlight. Some lower their bodies to the moss, pressing palms into the damp earth, listening for the hum of roots below. Their joy is not loud, yet it fills the silence completely. The myths speak of frenzy, of power that overwhelms. But beneath the tales lies a quieter truth, that in release there is peace, that in surrender there is strength, that to let go of one's chains is not to lose oneself, but to return home. The Maenads embody this truth. Not bound by the noise of daily burdens, they open themselves to the deeper music, and in doing so, they remind all who listen. Life, at its core, is meant to be danced. The forest itself responds. Owls blink from shadowed branches. A fox pauses in its wandering, ears pricked to the steady rhythm. Even the river nearby seems to quiet its rush, flowing with softer hands, as if to listen. The stars lean closer, their light glimmering like silver dust upon the moving circle. The air hums with a stillness that is alive, filled not with silence, but with presence. The Maenads begin to chant. Not words that can be held, but sounds that ripple and fade. A sigh, a hum, a rising note that trembles like wind in hollow reeds. It is language older than speech, the pure voice of breath itself. As they sing, the air thickens with calm, as though the forest itself joins in their hymn. Close your eyes. Feel their rhythm as if it touches your own breath. Each drumbeat is like your heart, steady and sure. Each step is like the rise and fall of your chest. The circle widens until it seems to gather you too, as though you are part of the dance, though you need not move. Simply being is enough. Simply breathing is enough. The Maenads lift their thirsoi to the moon. The ivy glimmers silver. The pine cones glow like quiet lanterns. In their raised arms is not violence, but offering. They offer their joy, their grief, their love, their longing. And the night accepts it all gently without judgment. For the night is endless, patient, holding all that the world surrenders. Slowly, the circle begins to soften. The dance eases. Feet slow upon the moss. The flutes breathe their last notes like fading sighs. The drums fall silent, their echoes dissolving into the trees. What remains is a hush so deep, it feels like a blanket drawn across the sky. The Maenads rest, some reclining upon the earth, some leaning against ancient trunks. Their hair falls loose, their faces serene. They are no longer caught in motion, but in stillness. The joy remains, not as fire, but as a quiet glow within their chests. They smile softly, their eyes half closed, as if drifting into dreams. Their worship has ended, yet their offering remains, an unspoken reminder that life is not meant to be carried with heaviness. It is meant to be danced, sung, and surrendered to like a river's flow. Now the forest grows deeper in its sleep. The stars wheel slowly above. The moon keeps its steady watch, and the Maenads, in their rest, become as gentle as the moss they lie upon. Their story is not only one of frenzy, but of peace found through letting go. So let your spirit drift with theirs. Let the rhythm of the night rock you softly. The dance is complete, the music has faded, and now only stillness remains. Let us drift onward, into quiet waters, into deeper dreams. Now rest as the stars return, and the night closes its eyes once more. The night has grown deep. The stars above shine like quiet guardians, scattered in endless patience across the velvet sky. The moon lowers, its silver face softened by mist, as though closing its eyes in gentle rest. And in this silence, in this tender pause of the world, a story lingers. It is not the tale of one woman, nor of one land. It is the tapestry of many voices, many hearts woven across centuries. It is the eternal echo of the divine feminine. Imagine the world as a vast loom. Upon it, threads are drawn from every corner of the earth. Some glimmer like sunlight upon rivers. Some glow like embers in the dark. Some are soft as linen, some strong as braided rope. Yet all are joined, forming one cloth, one story, one endless hymn. This cloth is the spirit of the sacred feminine. It is older than temples, older than kingdoms. It is a current flowing quietly beneath the surface of time, shaping life with hands unseen. Look gently to the east, where the first light rises. There walks Inanna, Queen of Heaven, descending into the underworld, her courage shining brighter than gold. She teaches that even in darkness, rebirth is possible, that every soul may rise again from shadow. Beside her drifts Isis, wings outstretched, gathering the broken pieces of love and stitching them whole with tenderness. Her song is of healing, of devotion that binds beyond death itself. And listen, beyond deserts and rivers, far to the mountains, hear the footsteps of Guanyin, the merciful. She is the one who bends to hear the cries of all beings, who holds every sorrow as though it were her own child. Her presence is soft, yet her compassion stronger than any wall of stone. Each tear she catches becomes a pearl of wisdom, shimmering with light. From the northern winds comes another voice, the whisper of Freya, her chariot drawn by cats, her eyes bright with both love and fire. She teaches the balance of desire and strength, of beauty and battle, of tenderness and courage. Her necklace gleams in the starlight, a reminder that even in war, there is longing for harmony, for peace. Then turn your gaze to the glowing fires of Greece. Athena rises, born of wisdom, carrying her shield. Yet her gift is not only battle, but clarity of mind, foresight, and steady reason. Beside her, Demeter cradles the earth's harvest, reminding all that nourishment is a sacred act, and the turning of seasons, a sacred rhythm. Their presence whispers balance, wisdom with care, strength with nurture. But the divine feminine is not only in queens or goddesses. It is in every mother who cradles her child against the night. It is in every daughter who carries hope forward like a lantern. It is in every sister, every beloved friend, every voice that comforts another in sorrow. It lives in the soil, in the rivers, in the whispering trees that bend but do not break. It lives in the moon, who waxes and wanes, yet always returns, faithful in her cycle. Close your eyes and feel it. The sacred feminine is in your breath, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the steady pulse beneath your skin. It is not outside you alone. It dwells within you, woven into your being like a hidden thread of gold. Across time, each culture gave her a name, a form, a story. Yet beneath the names, she remains the same presence. The healer, the guide, the mother, the warrior, the dreamer. The one who listens, the one who holds, the one who remembers. Hear the echo of Mary, holding her child with arms of light, her face calm as dawn. Her devotion is not only to her son, but to every soul that seeks shelter in her embrace. She is the lullaby of comfort whispered through generations. Hear also the laughter of Saraswati, flowing like rivers of song, her hands weaving wisdom and melody. She reminds that learning, music, and beauty are all prayers, all ways of lifting the spirit closer to the divine. And from the farthest reaches of the earth, hear the hum of Pachamama, mother of the Andes, who cradles mountains and valleys as though they are her children. Her voice is the soil itself, urging balance, gratitude, and respect for the gifts of the earth. All these voices are one voice. All these forms are one form. The divine feminine is not bound by time nor by a single face. She flows like water, shifting, shaping, nourishing every age. Her song is eternal, yet always new. Her love is endless, yet always personal, meeting each heart in its quiet need. Now picture the tapestry again. Threads of many colors, many textures, shining together. You see Inanna's courage as a deep crimson line. Isis's healing flows in silver. Guanyin's compassion shimmers pearl white. Freya's strength blazes gold. Athena's wisdom glows in soft gray. Demeter's nurture shines green as fields in spring. Mary's tenderness blooms in blue. Saraswati's song glitters with sapphire tones. Pachamama's earth hums in brown and ochre. All are woven side by side. Not one greater, not one lesser. Each a necessary thread in the vast design. And in the center of this cloth is a mirror. Look softly, and you may see yourself there. For the divine feminine is not only around you, but within you, waiting, glowing, steady as flame. The world has always turned by her hand, in every birth, in every harvest, in every lullaby sung under starlight, in the tides that rise and fall, in the seeds that break open into green. Her spirit is quiet, but it endures. When kingdoms fall, she remains. When names are forgotten, she whispers on. She is the continuity beneath change, the stillness beneath movement, the eternal echo repeating softly through time. Now let the forest close again. Let the stars shine above. Let the night air cool your skin. Imagine those many women, goddesses, mothers, daughters, standing in a circle around the world, hands joined across centuries. They do not shout. They do not command. They simply hold. And in that holding is strength greater than stone, more lasting than fire. The circle grows wider. It holds you too. You are within the tapestry, within the embrace of all who came before. You are not alone. not forgotten. The sacred feminine hums in your breath, in your heart, in your quiet rest. The story draws gentle to its close. The moon drifts lower. The stars continue their patient turning. The night folds around you like a soft cloak. Let your mind rest now. The divine feminine is near. She cradles your spirit. As she has cradled countless before you, she whispers only stillness, only peace. Her love needs no words, for it is endless. Her presence needs no form, for it is always here. Let us drift onward. Let the echoes fade into quiet. Let sleep come as soft as wings across water. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the eternal feminine holds you in silence. Now rest.